Welcome, everybody, to the Rope Break. I am your host, Jeff Wolf. I'm alongside Eric Vanek. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We have a big show. We haven't... I think we took a week off, actually. I'm not exactly sure. I think we took a week off, so it was a little bit delayed. Quite honestly, you didn't miss too much. Pro wrestling's kind of been a little bit on the downer. It happens every year after WrestleMania. They kind of give up a little bit. That's kind of what's going on. So topics today are more going to be about other stuff, not exactly what's going on right now. But we are going to give predictions on Extreme Rules pay-per-view that's going to be happening this weekend.
Yeah, that should be fun. It should be a decent pay-per-view. It's had some decent build-up for a couple of the matches. Some of the matches, I mean, like the frickin' pre-show match has more build-up than half the matches on the card.
Yeah.
But
what an epic adventure that will be, too.
Yeah, so we have that going on. Talk about a few other topics that we kind of want to talk about. Our last show seemed to be pretty successful, so I'm kind of excited to get back into it.
Yeah, our last two actually have been pretty good. It seems that we're getting our view count up, which means you guys are actually listening, which is awesome. And if you ever have a topic you just want to bring up, just don't hesitate. Just comment on it. We've gotten one comment so far. It wasn't a very nice comment, but it was someone's opinion, and you know what? I bring it on. Bring on your opinion.
Yeah,
if you don't like our opinion, great.
I think that guy's not all there in the head.
Oh, he's gonna comment on us now just because of that. Us knuckleheads. But you know what? We're gonna start with a topic that's gonna be a little bit controversial, I guess you could say. It seems that Chris Benoit's son, David Benoit, he had more than one son. David Benoit has been training with David Hart Smith. He's expressed getting interest in getting into professional wrestling, and he actually, David Hart Smith announced on his Twitter a couple days ago that David Benoit will be making his debut in Calgary, and he's going to be teaming with Chavo Guerrero Jr. in a tag team match. So my question for you is, do you think there's going to be this stigma on him early on, maybe throughout his whole career even, just of what his last name brings to the industry now?
No, I think people will make up their own mind. I mean, he's obviously had nothing to do with that horrible tragedy that happened, so I don't think so. I mean, like, look at Scott Hall's kid. Nobody gives Scott Hall's kid any shit because he's Scott Hall's kid, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think it'll be anything. I hope he's half as talented as his dad was, though, because we could use a wrestler like that. I miss
talented.
Yeah, I miss Chris Benoit's just style in the ring and just how he wrestled and how he was so methodical and, like, so intense. His, like, I mean, he really never had any gimmick. He was just out there for business and to just beat you up. And I love that about Chris Benoit. I mean, I wish he was still around so we could. I really wish to see how good he really could have gotten.
Yeah. And the thing with Chris is the fact that even when they tried to give him a gimmick of trying to make him talk in a certain kind of way to kind of give him an underlined kind of gimmick, it never worked out. I hope that there's not any bad stigma that goes with David Benoit, and I hope he has a career that's actually worthy of having being in that whole kind of family and with the last name of Benoit. I mean, no matter what someone wants to say about Chris, good or bad, and a lot of it's more bad now, he was one of the greatest wrestlers.
He will always be remembered for his little tragedy he had, and there's just no way around it. People are going to think of that, and that's pretty much unforgivable. But as a wrestling fan, looking at it strictly from a wrestling standpoint, he was one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen.
Yeah. And how cool is it that his first match is going to be with one of his father's best friends, with Chavo Guerrero?
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
So I guess it's going to be at let's see, it says it's going to be July 18th at a Hart Legacy Wrestling event. So it's not something that's a major event or anything like that. but I would love to see the footage from this after it happens, just to see first of all how talented he really is. I mean, we've seen it countless of times where someone that is huge in the business, their son ends up, or even daughter ends up wanting to be like them and continue the legacy of their last name. But just because you have that last name doesn't mean that you're actually good. So it'll be interesting to see just how good he really is of a wrestler, and it'll be fun to see the crowd reaction as well.
Yeah, definitely. And the next thing I want to kind of get into is something that happened on Monday Night Raw this week. Pretty much the opening segment, which was one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. John Cena was inside of the steel cage cutting a promo on Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt's music hit, and out came a children's choir of a local middle school or high school in St. Louis, and they were singing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands," and Bray was pretty much leading the little kids along. They ended up at the end putting on sheet masks and everything, and it was literally one of the coolest things I had seen in a while. Like, even Mick Foley was marking out on Twitter about it. He's like, wow, why didn't I think of this when I was, going up against The Undertaker and stuff?
It's times like this when they do something like this where I question, is there a certain writing staff just for Bray, and then there's writing staff for everyone else? Because if they would put this much effort and thought into doing things with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family as they would for the majority of their show, they would have an awesome show, because they have been booking Bray Wyatt for months now the best way they possibly could have. Like, this is totally going back to the Attitude Era way of booking. It's like Vince Russo is a little piece of Vince Russo was left over, and he's getting to do little things with Bray, because this stuff is amazing, and this was an awesome moment. Honestly, it was probably the only worthwhile moment of the whole show. I mean, last week's show was not that great, but this was awesome, and so creepy, and I love that. It's like when what was it? I know like CM Punk did it with Ray, and kind of like wishing him a happy birthday or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
too, his kids were in the ring, and it was his daughter's birthday, and he started singing "Happy Birthday" to his daughter right in front of him.
Yeah, and so creepy, and I love it, because when a heel can be that creepy and get into your head that kind of way, it's just awesome on screen. So I really do give them credit for doing this. It was really fun to watch. It was creepy. I loved it. I hope they keep doing things like this. The only thing that and it has nothing to do with this, the only thing I'm not a fan of with the whole Bray Wyatt thing right now is the fact that everyone is now singing the song. So it's like, it kind of hurts him in the sense of being a heel, but it's been that way for a while. Like, the fans love the heels now. It's like the cool thing to do. So it was bound to happen. Yeah.
But the main part I wanted to take from this, though, is John Cena's opening remarks.
Yes. And
the last week, the prior Raw, the fans got to vote for John Cena, who his opponents would be on the WWE app. So it was either against Luke Harper, either against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, or Rowan, Harper, and Bray Wyatt. And the fans overwhelmingly, I think it was like 55%, chose a three-way match, so it would be 3-on-1. And John Cena basically says, why? Why did you guys do this to me? Why would you make me do 3-on-1 after all I've given to you guys and done for you guys? And me and you have talked about it, like, that's the way to turn John Cena if you were ever going to do it. Right there.
Yeah, it was on a freaking silver platter right there. But it's just like at this time, I don't know if you can do it with just like how long it's been now with him being in there, and then how little time he has left in the WWE. I mean, I guess you could obviously always try it, but it was there. That was the greatest time of seeing a heel turn in my mind for John Cena. Like, as soon as I'm hearing him talk about it, I'm like, this is it. This is how you do it. This is how you turn him heel.
Yep. Yeah, and it would be, I think it would be good for his career, something different. But I mean, obviously, we all know the Make-A-Wish stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the behind the scene kind of stuff that really.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for the Make-A-Wish stuff, John Cena would have been heel a long time ago.
Yeah, it's crazy because I didn't think of something like that, and what makes it really cool is we complain as fans all the time about them doing stupid stuff with like tout or stupid stuff with social media. But this is how you did it. Like this was a perfect way. Is you use social media, John Cena's fans to go completely against him, and then he comes out and says, "Why? Why would you do this to me?
Yeah.
Why would you make me do that?"
Yeah.
And it was and he delivered it perfectly.
Yeah,
like he wasn't
really
joking or anything. He was straight faced questioning, "Why would you do this to me?" And it was perfect. It really was. And I would have loved for this to, or I would love for this to be the start of a heel turn. If that'll happen, I mean, we could talk about that for hours and we won't know. But
I mean,
it was
that's.
awesome.
I've always heard of the reason that the whole NWO thing started was the fans in late or in 96 there, 95-ish in WCW, they were kind of getting tired of Hogan and his act and all the stuff, he always did. And that was kind of one of the reasons they're like, Hogan's not as hot as he used to be. I mean, he still has the hero factor and all that. Why not turn him heel? And that was one of the leading factors into turning him a heel to start the NWO with Nash and Hall. So it's like, but if you're ever going to turn John Cena heel, it has to be epic, kind of like Hulk Hogan's was.
Yeah, I mean, because they did it with Stone Cold too, and it didn't pan out. And I think that's the biggest.
But the thing though with that is they did it at an epic moment. They did it at Invasion. Wasn't it at the end of Invasion?
No, they did it at WrestleMania.
Oh, you're talking about the one where he joined up with Vince. Okay.
Yeah, where he joined up with Vince.
I thought you were talking about when he joined the Invasion.
Oh, okay, no, yeah, I'm talking about when he joins up with Vince and like Jim Ross goes on and says like he just signed a deal with the devil or something like that.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about the other one, but
yeah, which and I think that's a stigma for people like John Cena now who could get turned heel. That's why people think maybe it's not a good idea because that really was an epic fail, and it really didn't work out.
Speaking of that, that would be another way to do it is if John Cena, they've kind of teased it before, of him joining the Authority and being the face of the WWE again, is if he kind of joined up with the Authority.
Yeah.
That would be a way to do it too, but...
Yeah, it would be interesting if they could get it done, and people would mark out. Like John Cena fans or haters, they would mark out for that just to see him go heel.
Yeah, like I've told you, I'm not on the Cena bash bandwagon anymore. I mean, I kind of actually enjoy some of his stuff. Someone pointed out to me, Hogan is still a legend, and everybody loves Hogan, but John Cena puts on better matches than Hogan did back in the day.
Oh yeah, I mean Hogan really didn't do much. It's just the whole, it was just the whole thing of what Hulk Hogan meant to everything. So
yeah,
but yeah, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully we see something come about it in the next couple of weeks and months, and because it really would be cool to see. Something else I wanted to bring up though. And it's going to be a little bit different than what we have been preaching. Seeing Sting on the WWE Network now, doing stuff on the Ultimate Warrior and stuff like that, it's pretty much now unofficially official that he's signed. My question is, putting your nostalgic love for Sting aside, is Sting in the WWE actually good for business? Like, does it actually make sense at this stage?
Well, are you talking from a being on TV every week standpoint, or just overall?
Overall, I guess marketing wise, it'll always make sense because you'll be able to do so much stuff with it marketing wise. But I'm saying if he does have like a farewell tour or something like that, and he does have matches, whether it's versus Undertaker or not, is it really something that at this stage we would even really want to see?
I think so, yeah, because he's the last one that wasn't in WWE. I know for me, the only way I would ever get like a pretty much awesome Sting documentary and full match listing and all that would be from this. And the WWE is going to be doing that later in the year. They're going to be making a Sting documentary and DVD package, so that'll be really, really cool to see. Hopefully they buy TNA within the next 2 weeks and they can steal that library too. But anyways, I think it's a very good thing. I don't really see too much negative from it. The guy is obviously going to be in the Hall of Fame at some point. There's rumors of The Rock being the main guy for the Hall of Fame next year. Would Sting? I mean, since Sting hasn't been a WWE legend, would he be okay taking a back seat to The Rock on Hall of Fame? I think he would. I don't think Sting.
I don't think they could do that.
You know, but I don't think Sting is that big of an egomaniac to say no. I wouldn't be second fiddle to The Rock.
Oh no! Sting would do it. He would be fine with it.
Yeah.
But
I think that, I mean, if this is his last year, if he's only doing 1 year, then you're going to have to put him in the Hall of Fame next year if you're going to put him in. And there's no question that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for all of his wrestling stuff, even if he never did any of it in WWE.
Yeah, and that's where the Hall of Fame really needs to be looked at in a different kind of way. And that's kind of why I got ticked off about the whole Razor Ramon thing, because I feel he should have. I mean, I guess he should have gone in as Razor Ramon, and that's fine. But it really bugged me that they didn't even mention any of his WCW stuff. And even before that, he did stuff. God, what company was it? The AWA, I think it was. He did stuff for them, and they just didn't talk about that at all. It just bugged me because it was really only on him. Like everyone else they've done stuff with, they've talked about in their other kind of careers. But it's like, well, then what are you going to do when you get someone that like Sting, who specifically was a one-person company that wasn't with the WWE? Like, what's going to happen when you start to introduce these ECW guys that definitely deserve to be there? I mean, you're going to tell me that someone like Shane Douglas doesn't deserve to be there, someone like Taz doesn't, or even Paul Heyman. It's like, you're just going to talk about Paul Heyman just as a manager? So it's going to be interesting to see that.
I'm interested to see where the Paul Heyman DVD is, because obviously ECW is going to be mentioned, but I wonder if more of it is going to be more WWE than ECW stuff. Yeah,
and my thing with Sting, is it good for business? I think it's not good for business, but I think it's something that has to be done. I mean, Sting doesn't look like Sting anymore. Sting looks kind of bad. I'm going to be honest.
He's a 50-year-old man. I mean,
I know, and that's the point.
And I'm sure at some point he took steroids.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, look at him with Warrior.
Yeah, so
I mean, they were jacked.
I mean, I'm sure their bodies aren't the same. I mean, Hogan's body isn't the same anymore. It's kind of flabby-ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I just think like match-wise, I don't know if they're going to do one match. I don't know if they're going to do a series of a couple matches with him or what. But I just think overall, putting my nostalgicness aside of Sting, this isn't Sting from '98. This is Sting now in 2014 or 2015, whenever we see him. And I think
that's just crazy to think about.
I know.
From '98 till right now is 2014. Like, that is such a big time gap.
I know. It's like it's incredible to actually think about and actually go on the network and watch those kind of pay-per-views from like '98 or '97, and then we now are like in 2014. But yeah, I just think my whole point is I just think it's something that has to be done, but when it's all said and done, we're not really going to even remember what Sting does in the last couple months of his actual wrestling career, especially being in the WWE.
Yeah. And then the next thing I wanted to bring up quickly was, I know I've been watching it. I'm not quite sure if you've been watching it, but I just wanted to kind of see what you thought.
Is it the Legends House?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
You gotta watch Legends House. It is hilarious.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. With all baseball and hockey going on, I haven't been
it's been hard.
No, I wanted to see what you have thought of Total Divas this year so far. If you've been watching it on some days.
No, I haven't. I've watched the first episode, and I keep it keeps not taping.
Okay.
So I don't. But as like I want there to be a marathon so I can catch up on it, because before the season started, I did watch the first season because you got me kind of wanting to watch it because you were talking about it, and it's not nearly as bad as people think. Like
so you still haven't seen Natalia in the schoolgirl outfit yet?
No, I haven't seen Natalia in the schoolgirl outfit, and I need to. I need to see that so bad.
I'll give you that link to the website that I used to view them on.
Okay.
But I've really been enjoying Total Divas. I mean, it's total chick show, but I mean it's got funny stuff like. I love the guys like Jimmy.
I mean, my favorite part is actually watching the Usos and watching
Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd. I mean, I love Tyson, but he's kind of a d-bag. But who's
you know what
guy?
though? Vinny?
No.
Cameron's girlfriend?
No, he was in Tons of Funk.
Oh, Brodus?
Yeah, Brodus. His name was just drawn a blank. Brodus is cool as hell. He really is.
He was hardly on it at all.
No, but whenever he's on, like whenever he's talking to one of the to like Cameron or whatever, he just seems really cool, real down to earth. And
yeah.
I love the Usos on
I love Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso would be like the coolest guy to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like that dude is just really cool. He's down to earth, a lot of fun. I mean, the girls are like fun too, but I also wonder how much do you think of it as storyline? How much of it is actually really happening?
You know, I actually was debating this with someone on some kind of wrestling forum the other day because, or I was like on Tumblr and someone made a post about Natalia not being grateful because of stuff that she's done on Total Divas, and I think a lot of it is just. I think a lot of it's planned out. I don't think much of it's really reality. I would like to think it is, but I really don't think it is. And it's funny to see how some of the girls come off. Like Natalia kind of comes off a little bitchy, and
yeah, and she seems like she gets hurt very easily over little things. You could tell like the Bellas are like more like Brie especially. They're like a no-nonsense, no bullshit kind of person.
And I actually have gotten more respect for the Bellas watching the show.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't respect them much at all.
Yeah.
But then I started watching the show, and it's like, you know what? I kind of do respect them a little bit more.
Yeah. And if it actually is reality and this isn't all planned out, it is actually a pretty good show, and it's really cool to see the inside of like John Cena and Nikki's relationship and Uso and
really
Trinity's relationship and all that kind of stuff. So I really do enjoy that. So I've actually, when I first heard about the show, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the first season at all. And then the network came out, and I always saw in the little commercials for the network that it was going to have the Total Divas shows on it, but they never were on the network. So I had to find them. Yeah, and I had to find them and download them. Or just watch them on a website, I forget what I did. So I watched the whole season in like 2 days, the whole first season, and I was like hooked. It was like a really good show. So I've been watching it this year. It's pretty much the same format. Summer Rae's on there now. She hasn't even really been on the last 2 episodes at all, which is kind of odd.
You know, from what I've seen of Summer Rae, I really don't like her.
Yeah, but I think that's, like I said, I don't know how much of that is coming off as, you know, them making it out to be that way kind of deal. So I could see why AJ and Layla and those kind of girls declined going on this show because they're like, I don't want to come off as that. So
yeah,
because I think they would make AJ look like a total bitch.
Oh, I definitely believe they would.
So
and I think they would make Layla come off as completely lazy and always hurt.
Yeah,
big time time.
Yeah. So
something about the show that 2 things I did want to bring up though from the show of what I have seen. John Cena looks like a complete lame-o from that show.
No, he's just himself. He's a genuine nice guy, and that's how he always is. He's very respectful. He was brought up the right way, and that's just how he is. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Me being a good kind of guy myself, I dig it.
Yeah, right. You're a fucking asshole.
There's our one. We get one F-bomb, and you used it right there. Enjoy it, sir. But it just seems like with John Cena, like on WWE television, he can joke around, but then when he's doing that show, he just doesn't seem like he ever can like let loose and just like have fun at all. It always just seems he's real uptight.
Well, I mean, they don't really show it, but you can tell from Nikki and stuff, like, he is always busy. And then, like, you could tell when Daniel Bryan became really, really popular, I think it was, like, the end of the last season and starting into this season, like, Brie was getting mad at Daniel because he was never around. Like, they were trying to have lunch one time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And Brie was getting all mad because Daniel had to do...
like phone interviews.
Yeah, phone interviews for, like, radio shows and stuff. And, like, John Cena's got to do the same stuff. He's got all of his Make-A-Wish stuff and everything else that he does. So it's like... I mean, you really see how hectic these people's lives are for 300 days a year. They hardly get any time at home. Obviously, they're well paid and all of that. And it's just, it's really interesting to look at. Like I said, I hope it's not, scripted, but I'm sure some of it is.
Yeah, in all reality, it's somewhat scripted. And kind of talking about the network, there was another thing I wanted to bring up. Just to get your opinion on it, and that would be, do you think the quality of like the pay-per-views and the special events now with the arrival of the network has gone down? Because we see at WrestleMania the show just seemed, to me it just seemed like half of a show, and with this next show coming up, it's not a bad card, but it just seems like the quality of the shows now being on the network are going down.
I think it's just how it always has been. Like, you remember all these little side pay-per-views, Battlegrounds, and Extreme Rules last year.
Mm-hmm. You're
like, why would I pay anything for this?
Yeah.
Me and you half the time would talk about, why would I pay $60 or $70 HD to watch this show?
Yeah.
So it's just how it's been for the last 5 years or so. The secondary pay-per-views aren't really... they're not huge anymore. That's why I see why TNA wanted to cut down their pay-per-views. And I wouldn't even mind if WWE went back to, like, only 6 pay-per-views a year or something like that.
I wouldn't either.
And you could have more build up to everything. Have like 2 months build up for stuff. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You'd have your big 4, then you just have two other shows that didn't mean as much. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe it's just how it's always been the last couple of years. It's just now with the network only being. Like,
yeah, but you're paying $9.99 for it, so
yeah.
Who cares?
So it's like you're paying. It's more of the same stuff. It's just you're now paying for it in like an actual realistic value now.
Yeah, and I don't have to find a stream to watch it now.
Yeah, that's the best thing, and I think that's the best thing of the network of putting pay-per-views on there is they realized people were getting streams like crazy, and whether you believe that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. People were doing it. I mean, not us at the rope break. We weren't doing it. I swear.
Of course I did.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to get your
not paying $55 for that. I wouldn't even pay to watch TNA right now. Like, or not even pay. I mean, to watch it for free.
I honestly, if the pay-per-view price was $4.99, I don't think I would pay it.
No, I wouldn't either.
Just because I don't want to sit there to watch their crap right now. It's horrible. I have never seen something as bad as that.
I can't argue.
Did you have any other topics before we get into the predictions?
No, those are pretty much the only ones I wanted.
Okay, since we're right at the half an hour mark, and because we're doing predictions on the show, we'll get the show under an hour. But I just wanted to have one kind of like history topic, like I like to bring up, and today it's going to be Bret Hart. Looking at the network and looking at a lot of stuff within the network and the pay-per-views and just how his career went, I just wanted to get your opinion on what do you think was the main factor of his career really going downhill from the screw job? Because once the screw job happened and he went to WCW, like, he was looked at as just a mid-carder completely.
I think it was just the booking. They didn't book him right. Injuries obviously didn't help. I really just think they just misbooked him. He was when they got him from WWE, he was one of the biggest wrestling stars on the planet. And then they kind of, like you said, used him as a mid-carder, basically.
They didn't even use him for a while.
Yeah, and...
Like, he was just always hanging out with, like, Bischoff or Hogan or something.
Yeah, so he just wasn't used properly at all, and that's WCW being WCW back in the day. They just, it was all about hooking up Hogan and Nash and those guys. I mean, I love Hogan and Nash, but that's pretty much what it seems like. They just didn't book him well. That's pretty much the downfall of his career. I can't really put it any other way.
Do you think now it's kind of interesting that you bring up Hogan, because when he was doing a round table kind of thing, he talked about the fact that when he was in WCW, him and Hogan were the top stars, and Hogan wouldn't let anyone get higher than him. Do you think that's really true, or do you think that's Bret just being Bret?
I mean, I've heard that from other people, though. Like, remember with the Bash at the Beach 2000 thing with Russo and Jeff Jarrett and Hogan and all them? I mean, It was the same kind of thing. Hogan saying he's not going to do it, or, it doesn't surprise me, no. I think I believe Bret Hart.
All right. I just wanted to, that's our little history topic of the day.
What do you think? Do you agree with him?
I agree with anyone that says Hulk Hogan's ego is too big for anyone to go over Hulk Hogan. My personal opinion on the whole thing is I think Eric Bischoff signed Bret Hart so Bret Hart could not work for WWF and Vince McMahon. I really think that's the only reason he signed Bret Hart. He gave him a whole bunch of money just to get off that show, and that's it. Like, I think Eric Bischoff had no intention whatsoever of ever pushing Bret Hart like he was used to in the WWF.
Wow. I might have to put this on Eric Bischoff's Twitter and hope he listens.
God, EB, I love you, but you're an ass.
Wow.
Hey, but you know what? We are still being followed by his son's clothing company, so we appreciate that, Garrett Bischoff.
Yeah, I've actually been buying some clothes off of there, man. I'm styling and profiling Garrett Bischoff style.
We could all be so lucky. All right, so now we're going to get into the predictions for Extreme Rules, just because we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get together for a second podcast this week, so we wanted to...
No, tell them the real truth.
Okay, the real truth is sometimes the host of this show forgets to put some editing together and put it up in time, and sometimes the prediction show gets up after the show has already happened, and thus predictions is absolutely
we're giving you 3 days to put the show up.
So I'm getting a couple extra days to edit stuff and get it up for you guys. Okay, now that I admitted that. I don't know, the pre-show match is kind of like the main event.
Shut up.
We have El Torito versus Hornswoggle. I can't even talk about the series.
I honestly, I don't care. Let's just skip it.
That's the prediction. I'm just gonna
I don't.
All right. In one of the more interesting matches on the card, though, we then have a triple threat match, putting RVD versus Jack Swagger versus Cesaro, the King of Swing.
Yes. Definitely 3 very talented workers. The one thing I do want to point out before we start this is when I was looking at the matches, only one of the matches said it was going to be a Extreme Rules match. Usually every match is contested under Extreme Rules, but it said only one match was so far. So I don't know if they plan on making these matches all Extreme Rules or not. They should, because, hey, it's the title of the pay-per-view. But,
yeah, at least have a couple of them. But yeah, it seemed like there was only one that was Extreme Rules.
Yeah. And looking and thinking about all of this, obviously Cesaro is the main guy here that they want to push and make better here. I think RVD's back. He's only back for a limited amount of time. You're going to want to get the most out of him. So I think RVD is going to win this match. I wish it was Extreme Rules so RVD could do a little ECW Van Terminator across the ring would be amazing.
Yeah.
From RVD to do it to like Zeb Coulter's face or Jack Swagger's face.
Yeah.
That would be excellent. You're going to have Paul Heyman at ringside against RVD. That'll be a little interesting. But I do think RVD will end up getting the win.
You do?
Yes.
I disagree. I think it will be Cesaro. I think
that's the obvious choice, but I think I like RVD on this one.
And here's my take on it: is I'd even rather have Swagger win than RVD. RVD to me, you can just release him at this stage in his career. RVD does nothing for me anymore. And then just watching him on Monday, and then watching him do like interview stuff with Paul Heyman too. Like he just does nothing for me anymore at all. And I'm a huge ECW mark, and I'm saying
at least he's not, his vocabulary isn't limited to cool or dude or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day, that's all he used to say.
Yeah, it's like, oh, dude.
They limit his vocabulary.
Yeah,
I remember him making fun of that at the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, really, I actually would rather this match. I mean, it's cool that it's a triple threat match, and I love triple threat matches. But I hope it really comes down to Swagger versus Cesaro, because really that's the feud to me, is those two. And I mean,
that's why I
benefits Cesaro mostly to get this win.
That's why I think is something was going to happen with Cesaro and Swagger just beating up each other, and RVD is just going to come in and maybe steal it with a 5-star frog splash and win it. That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
You know what, I can see that, and if that's the case, then I hope they stick to their guns and they push RVD, because if you get a win over both these guys, because Swagger's really he's stepped up his game for months now. I'm slowly, maybe it's not slow anymore. I'm a fan of Swagger now, and Cesaro for sure he's one of the hottest topics in the WWE for months now. So, yeah, you're right. Cesaro winning would be the easy prediction, but I'm easy, so that's where I'm going. And then we have
ladies. You heard them.
You heard it. You heard it here first. Yeah, Indians lost. Great. And then we have R-Truth and Xavier Woods versus Rusev. I hate these kinds of matches. I hate 2-on-1 matches, and especially Xavier Woods and R-Truth. They really don't do anything.
No, it's a squash match.
Yeah, it's a squash.
That's all it's going to be, and Rusev is going to win. They're pushing him as his dominant, larger-than-life Bulgarian monster, and that's what they're pushing him as, and it's going to continue. They're giving him pretty much the Ryback treatment.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to do this, don't learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, they screwed it up last time, so honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rusev in the world title picture by the end of the year. I hope he doesn't win. I could see him being in the TLC ladder match and maybe winning the ladder match when we go.
Yeah, I am not a fan of Rusev at all. Even watching him in NXT, I am not a fan of him at all.
Yeah, because we found out that the TLC pay-per-view is actually going to be in Cleveland here, where me and Jeff both live, so it's going to be a pretty interesting pay-per-view. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm
excited to just be able to go to a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that's in our state of Ohio, so that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, for this match, Rusev's going to win, we project, and hopefully that they'll get more legit competitors for him. But I have a feeling you're right. I feel this is just going to be Ryback all over again.
I think a good feud for him, would be him versus Sheamus. I mean, I think that would actually be a really good feud for him to start off as a big feud. Yeah.
I mean, that's all I'm asking is just put people like a Sheamus or just a little bit of a bigger build against him. I'm just not a fan of 2-on-1s at all. So hopefully this goes quick and painless. And talk about painless, we have Tamina. Tamina versus Paige in the Divas Championship.
Yeah, there's no way Paige loses. Sorry.
No, not Tamina.
Paige is probably already top 3 most talented women wrestlers on the roster.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's no way Paige loses this. Paige is one of my favorite divas. She has been ever since I saw her on NXT a long time ago when it was airing on Hulu and all that. So, yeah, I think Paige is going to win this match, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's just something special about Paige. She's just different, and I love that in the Divas picture. Yeah, she's not going to lose to Tamina. I would like to see her fighting. I don't know who I want to see her fighting, really.
Well, from what I read from a report was they wanted to put her up against some lesser heels, like they had her against Oksana and Alicia Fox and stuff, to try and build her up to the WWE universe that, hey, she's a good women's champion and she's a good wrestler and all that, so the crowd actually got to know her, because some people don't watch NXT. So
yeah. I mean, you can't assume that people do watch NXT, even though it's on the network now. I mean, you just can't assume that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's been really awesome to see Paige in there, and especially the way that she's been winning with her submissions. I loved it, love it. So hopefully she'll come out of this victorious, which I fully expect she will, and then we'll get a more legit competitor with her that kind of matches her style a little bit. And then another exciting match I feel for this card is going to be the Intercontinental title match, and that's going to be Big E versus the winner of the Intercontinental tournament that we've seen the last couple of weeks, and that is Bad News Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, obviously WWE has been pretty high on Bad News Barrett with the last month or so. Pretty much since after WrestleMania, they've been kind of pushing him. The Raw after WrestleMania and stuff.
The fans have been helping it, too.
Yeah, the fans have been helping it. They're behind him. A lot of signs, a lot of cheering. And he deserves it. There's no doubt that this guy's talented. There's a reason this guy won the first NXT season. I mean, this guy is extremely talented. He has everything that you could want. He's a very good talker. He's a very good wrestler. I don't know why they wasted him so long. I mean, this guy, he's already been a 3-time Intercontinental Champion. I bet you didn't know that.
Well, hey, fun fact is I was in the crowd the night he won his first Intercontinental title.
Oh, okay. So he's won it before. So
you know what? I was if you would have asked me how many times has he won it, I would have told you 2. So I don't remember a third. So I'll be honest, because I do love Wade Barrett, but I didn't know it was a third.
The third one was very quick because
it was like that. It was like for like a night, wasn't it?
It was the WrestleMania pre-show.
Yeah.
Wade was the champion, and Miz came out and beat him on the pre-show, and then the next night Wade won it back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
That was 2 WrestleManias ago.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, Big E has just fallen from the grace of WWE lately. I don't know why. What's happened? Like, they just completely.
He's drinking that Dolph Ziggler juice.
It's not even that. It's just ever since that after the Royal Rumble, where everyone expected him to have a huge Royal Rumble,
and
all that, he was in the main events. I mean, he was being the main star. He was coming out and saving John Cena from beatdowns from the Shield and stuff.
Yeah, no,
and
he was ending the show.
It was like everyone was talking about, wow, Roman Reigns versus Big E would be awesome, and
now it's like Big E who?
Yeah, it's like he's just like an afterthought now. He's like the next Ezekiel Jackson or something.
Yeah, which is a shame because we both were huge fans of him watching him in NXT.
Yeah. So if you can't tell by the way we're talking, I think we both expect Wade Barrett to come out as the Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, and I'm going to mark out. I am, because I think this is finally the push for him that's going to take him over for what he needs to be. Charisma-wise, he's amazing. Ring-wise, he's amazing. I mean, he has the total package. He had injuries that kind of derailed him a little bit and everything, and he's had gimmicks where they kind of just go through the motions with him or whatever, and it just doesn't pan out. He just doesn't get over. I really think they did, and this is the funny thing, is I really think they did a great job with him coming out and saying like, I got some bad news for you. because
they could have done a lot of better things with it, though.
Yeah, they could have, but we saw it and we're like, this is stupid because he just keeps doing it. But it caught on. Sometimes the bad things catch on, and now it's a huge. He has become a huge internet fan base and everything. And I mean, just in our everyday use, I say I've got some bad news for you now to just random people because it's hilarious.
Like, I just wish he would have been the one to come out on March 3rd when they were in Chicago and CM Punk's music came out, and if he just would have came out and said, "Oh, you guys want to see CM Punk? Well, I've got some bad news."
And that's what I was hoping he was going to do. Like, that's
because he would have got so over just
so much heat.
Yes, so much heat, but the fans would have sat back and looked like, wow, that was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, and that's where I was hoping they did it with it instead of the Paul Heyman thing, but whatever. But yeah, I do expect Barrett to get the win versus Big E, and hopefully this is maybe Big E getting repackaged or something, or they give him a different kind of feud that kind of gives him some more energy, because he needs something, because right now he's headed back down to NXT. Sorry, he is. And then we have everyone's favorite boy, John Cena, versus Bray Wyatt in a steel cage match.
John Cena.
I don't.
Have you heard the fans chanting about his song? Like they used to do with how they used to do with Angle sucks or you suck.
Yeah.
So listen to John Cena's song in the background music. It's John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. So all the fans are doing that now. I didn't know. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, this match it's getting booked really well. Obviously, Bray Wyatt versus Cena
this has been booked great for 3 months.
Yeah. I gotta think this is gonna go to Bray, because you let John win at WrestleMania. And unless you're the heel that keeps winning and then the face overcomes obstacles and finally wins, it doesn't really work the same way. So I have to believe Bray's going to win this. This is going to keep escalating, keep going on even more and more. I mean, who knows? We might see Cena at some point join the Wyatt family. I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe it'll come to that where like you wonder, will he actually join the Wyatt family?
Yeah. With Cena being like so distraught right now and mad that the fans have kind of turned on him, like I think Cena's spirits are just kind of down, and I just don't see him overcoming it, and I see them continuing this feud. I don't know how. I'm sure they got plans for it, but I agree with you. I think Bray Wyatt is going to win this one, and it's going to continue this feud even further. We'll see how far it goes. It could actually be pretty interesting.
Oh, it really will be, and I hope if they're not going to turn Cena heel, I hope that they do kind of do like the AJ Styles thing, where they kind of make Cena dark a little bit. After this, we're just like not even believing in the fans for a little bit, and kind of just like maybe going away for like a week or two and having like vignettes with him by himself or something. Just
and he just comes out and hits an attitude adjustment on Nikki Bella. That'd be great.
I'd actually love to see that.
He just puts her through the table. That'd be awesome.
Did the Dudleys come back?
Oh, I remember when they did that to like Mae Young and stuff.
I know. Yeah, Devon get the tables and puts her through the table. God, I can't watch that scene. Like anytime I see that on TV, I can't watch her body just go through a table. But it's not like Bubba like held her close or anything. Like he kind of dropped her. Like, I mean, he made it not so bad, but God.
But I bet you she had the time of her life doing it, and that's what made Mae Young awesome.
I think she did, and that's truly what made her amazing.
Yeah.
She's an awesome, awesome woman that loved the business. All right, so then we have our co-main events, really. Actually, I mean, you could say that John Cena Bray Wyatt was like 3-way main event in a way. But we have the only Extreme Rules match that we think. It's the only one that's being billed as Extreme Rules, and that's going to be the WWE Championship match with Kane versus Daniel Bryan.
WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, please.
I never know exactly the whole words that they put in there. Just make it the WWE World Championship.
Yeah, so it's Daniel Bryan versus Kane, obviously, if Jeff didn't say that. Kane has been beating the crap out of John Cena lately. He's been stalking Brie Bella, I'm sorry.
I still don't know the difference between the two.
Well, one's got fake tits and the other one doesn't. It's not that hard to figure out, Jeff.
Fair enough.
Which one has bigger boobs, and that's how you figure them out now. I'm kind of hoping the Usos do that too, but I don't think they're getting breast implants. But anyways, yeah, I think Daniel Bryan, it's just one of those things that he's going to overcome the odds again. He's hurt, he's down, but he really hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania. I think he's had one match and that's where the Evolution came down and beat the crap out of him. Yeah,
he hasn't had like an actual match yet, and I'm a little surprised actually that they haven't even brought up that of his father's death.
Yeah, so he's had a lot of personal stuff going on and all of this kind of stuff going on lately. So I think this is Daniel Bryan's way of kind of getting back into the flow and doing his stuff again. So I don't see Daniel Bryan losing this match, though. They've worked way too hard and way too long to get the title on him. There's no way he's losing it this fast.
No, he's going to win this. It'll be interesting to see how extreme Kane really gets, though.
Yeah.
Just because Kane has come out ruthless, and I love it. This is the Kane I like. I hate whenever Kane is a face. Like, I would rather Kane be just a monstrous heel his whole career.
Yeah.
And he's really come out and beaten the crap out of Daniel Bryan. So it'll be interesting to see how far they let Kane go and how Daniel Bryan comes back with it. It'll be interesting also to see if they have someone come out and help Daniel Bryan versus Kane. Since it's Extreme Rules, anything can happen. But yeah, I don't see Kane winning. I think that would be just dumb and wouldn't make any sense for what they're trying to do. But yeah, Daniel Bryan wins this one, and I don't know where he goes from here. Contender-wise.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Unless Evolution breaks up. Because then you have three people that could go for it.
Yeah, I could see something like that happening. I'm sure we'll figure it out here as we go, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm not really sure, so I can't even really fathom who I would want to face Daniel Bryan after this.
Oh, it's not. Believe me, it will not be who we want to face Daniel Bryan, but it will be just the next person in line.
Yeah, it'll. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Batista. They didn't bring Batista back.
I wouldn't either.
They didn't bring him back. Yeah, they didn't bring him back to sit on the sidelines and not go for the title. So no. I could see him finally getting his match. I
could see them just setting up maybe a small tournament on Raw of four people or whatever, and then Batista comes out on top, because Batista, I would predict, is going to be the next champion at some point. Just depends on when. And then talking about Batista, then we have the actual main event, and that's going to be the Shield vs. Evolution, where Ric Flair is maybe on the Shield side, maybe he's not. We don't know. That was a really bizarre thing from Raw. Flair just came out and kind of just gave his blessing really to the Shield and kind of just spit in the face of Evolution in a sense. I think it's a setup, but we will see. For the actual match itself, I'm gonna go with Evolution winning this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I think it's a total setup. I think Flair is just gonna be on the kind of in the Shield's corner, and then in the end he's gonna screw him over and help Evolution win, and it's gonna kind of be a little plan that they've all had all along. And Evolution is gonna stand tall at the end of the night, victorious.
I just hope that this doesn't result to the Shield breaking up. I hope I hope that we don't have like Roman Reigns joining Evolution or something like that.
I want to say I read another thing. I'd have to do research real quick, but the next pay-per-view I think is Battleground.
Okay.
And that arena could do a War Games kind of.
Perfect for that name.
Yeah, so I think that might be what we're leading up to, is maybe a War Games match between these teams. So I could see this feud continuing again, and what better way to have it continue with Flair screwing over the Shield, helping Evolution win, and continuing this little feud and building it up to a War Games style match. I think that would be really cool.
I would love that. Especially being a WCW fan, that would be awesome for them to bring back that match in this capacity, and it would be definitely worthwhile to see the Shield vs. Evolution.
Yeah, and then you go to SummerSlam for the number one contendership or something with Triple H, Roman Reigns inside the triple cage.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh my God, I would mark out like a little girl.
All right,
I love the triple cage.
You and David Arquette both. And with that, that is going to end our show for the week. We are going to get this just under an hour for everyone. Hope you enjoyed the prediction show. Hope you enjoyed the show. And let us know. Let us know at the Rope Break on Twitter and also on YouTube that you're actually listening/watching this right now. Give us some comments. Give us some ideas to talk about, and we will use your ideas on air, most likely, unless it's just really, really dumb.
Yeah, or you're not so bright in the head. Or not all there in the head.
As long as you're not the Warrior fan. Yeah, he's going to hate us if he watches the show ever again. All right, everyone. You have a good time. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.